Good morning, everybody. I decided to skip the sunrise today in favor of getting a little extra sleep, which was much needed and very much appreciated right now. With all of the moisture in the air yesterday and the cool temperatures overnight, everything I've got is pretty much soaked with dew. The tent, my sleeping bag, even my beanie has got a nice wet spot on it. In about 40 minutes or so, the sun will come over those mountains and start to dry things out. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna have a nice, luxurious, leisurely morning, getting ready, have a nice cup of tea, and watch the mountains.
Something I've been thinking a lot about on this trip, both the first night and last night, those two unbelievably beautiful light shows, is how if I had stayed at home, I never would have had those experiences and seen those sights, taken those pictures, and I would be blissfully unaware and happy as a fat clam, just never knowing that those moments existed. But I did experience them, they did exist, and I did capture them on my camera, and now, on the other side of it, I can't imagine my life without them. To some small level, those moments have become part of my core identity and a reminder of why I do what I do and of the values that I hold and the lessons that I think are important in life, like you have to walk through the storm to find the sunset on the other side. It does make me wonder how many other things in our lives are like that, where just by virtue of showing up, you've changed your life without realizing it. You've given yourself some experience, you've connected with some person or some moment in a way that reinforces who you are and who you want to be, just because you were there. So I'm going to try to take that lesson to heart today. To be honest with you, I am ready to be home. It's my 8th day in the wilderness, 5 days with friends, and now 3 on my own. And I'm ready for a shower, to sleep in my own bed, to eat fresh fruit and veg. But I still have enough supplies with me for another 36 hours or so out here in the wilderness. So I'm gonna take advantage of that fact, listen to my own lesson to push through the storm to find that sunset. So I'm gonna pack my stuff up and head off into the woods for another beautiful day here in the Sierra High Country. I am so glad that I slept in this morning. 1, because I am now full of energy. And 2, the last hour romping around this area has been some of the most satisfying and fun photography that I've done all trip. It's safe to say that Center Basin is earning a spot squarely on my short list of magical places here in the Sierra. But now it's time to leave this extraordinary spot behind and check out somewhere new. Heading for Vidette Creek and Vidette Lakes today. And to get there, first I have to retrace my steps out of Center Basin and back to the JMT PCT. It should be a fairly leisurely morning. Then after about an hour or 2 of walking, I'll have to find my way across Bub's Creek and enter the Vidette Canyon. From there, it'll be all cross country, picking my way through the rocks and bushes, higher and higher along the creek until I reach the lakes. I don't know what I'm gonna find, but if it's anything like the rest of this area, it's sure to be jaw-dropping. But there's only one way to find out for sure, so let's get hoofing. Time to leave the trail behind and let the adventure part of the day begin. I'm going to angle across through the forest here, down until I hit the river. My major challenge at the moment is finding a safe place to cross Bub's Creek. In this area, it flows through a narrow but quite spectacular gorge with steep cliffs on either side of the river, making it a huge challenge to cross. So I'm gonna keep going downhill until I find a nice flat spot where the river levels out and I can hopefully find a few boulders to jump across. If not, then this whole plan goes up in smoke and I gotta figure something else out to do with my day. Thankfully, that was a pretty straightforward crossing. So now it is time to rest, refuel, and get ready for the next part of today's adventure, the hot, sweaty, possibly rainy climb up Vidette Creek. I'm out of the forest and meadow now, starting the climb up Vidette Creek. First order of business, navigate this boulder field around the arete, and then I'll be in the creek proper. Suss out the route from there. But the main thing is simply go up, 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 up. About an 800-foot climb to the first lakes.
The reason I'm heading up this creek in the first place is that I'm hoping that higher up the lakes in the creek are going to offer a view of Deerhorn Mountain, which is one of the snaggliest toothed, gnarliest looking peaks in this area. So I can't wait to see what actually happens when I get up there. In my experience, Sierra basins like this always offer you something a little different and a little more magic than you hoped for. Let's go find out what's waiting up here.
I made it to the first of the Vidette Lakes. And though Deerhorn Mountain has come into view, you can see its multi-pronged top, as the name would imply. Most of it is blocked by this gigantic bulge right here, thrusting out of the ground. So I'm gonna continue up the basin to see if I can find a better vantage point.
Hey there, this is Nick Stover, the founder of Nature Photography Collective, inviting you to join the collective itself. We have a library of over 100 nature speakers, an incredibly active community where you can interact with other photographers from around the world, and we add new talks, new speakers almost every week. Plus, you can be part of live Q&As, online editing clinics, and be notified before anyone else of new in-field workshops. You can get full details on our website, www.naturephotocollective.com, and you can use code SOCIALS10 to save 10% off your membership. Hope to see you there. Thanks so much.
Well, morale is running a little low at the moment, to be honest with you. Gray skies always bring me down, but I know that it's only a matter of time till they clear and my mood just soars. Happens every time.
I'm actually grateful for these moments where morale gets a little bit low because they provide me something to look back on. And other times when morale is a little low. Right now I'm thinking about a trip I did in 2018 to a place called the Gardner Basin. And I remember reaching the saddle to that basin, expecting some kind of backcountry Shangri-La and just seeing inhospitable talus as far as the eye could see. And I felt very defeated. But I decided I'd walked all that way, I'd better continue on and give it a fair shake. So I spent the next 90 minutes hopping across the boulders to the far end of the basin. And that's where basically all of a sudden the valley opened up and it was that backcountry Shangri-La. And I was a vast granite paradise full of shiny peaks, endless waterfalls, and reflecting ponds. And the skies also opened up at that same time. And one of the most intense rainbows I've ever seen in my life appeared. So I'm not saying that's gonna happen here. In fact, that's pretty unlikely. You know, that's a rare occurrence, but it could happen. And that thought alone, that's enough to keep me going. I've arrived here at Upper Vidette Lake, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not really floating my boat. Of course it's pretty, it's beautiful, but compared to the places that I've been the last few days, it's not quite up to the cut. From here, unfortunately, it's the perspective on Deerhorn Mountain is just too close. Instead of looking like a massive pointy peak, it just looks like a foreshortened pile of stones. Loses a lot of its impressiveness. But there's one more lake just up over here around the corner I'm gonna check out. Maybe that one's gonna have the secret sauce. Yet again, it's very nice, but it's not driving my car or conducting my train. It's hard to put my finger on exactly why I'm drawn to some places and not others. Here I think it's mostly just the rock seems very jumbly. There aren't any clean lines or sheer faces or noticeable promontories that really draw you in and give it a sense of unique character. Really, that's what it comes down to for me. I love places that have a strong sense of unique character. Places that can only be themselves and nowhere else. That's why I resonated so strongly with Center Basin over the last few days. I've never been a place quite like that in the Sierra. That's part of why I found it so special. Nevertheless, I'm happy to be here. I've always wondered about this place, what it's like up in here. Now I know. And that's not to say there aren't some really incredible things about this basin, but it's probably not going to be a place right at the top of my list to come back to over and over. Alrighty, let's go find a campsite for the night. Tally-ho! I mentioned that the Sierra always provides something, whether it's what you expect or what you hope or something totally different. In this case, this is what it's giving me, and it's amazing. I don't believe in fate or destiny, but I do believe that if you live your life with an open heart and open eyes, things generally work out in a pretty amazing way. I could see this particular spot on my map as I climbed up the canyon, but it was just a small dot of blue high up on the side, and I had no desire to visit it. But as I walked up to the upper bench up there and I turned and I looked around, I could see that this particular dot of blue, aka this little tarn, would have an unbelievable view out across the valley. So I decided to come down and check it out. I never would have come to this spot if I hadn't gone up there. Now here I am, and the view is just blowing me away. And after about 30 minutes of searching, I think I found the only flat spot out here to pitch a tent. So this is gonna be home for the night. Unless, you can probably hear those planes flying over. They're bombers. There's clearly a fire somewhere just over here because they've been flying overhead for the last 2 hours, really low. In fact, I can even see some smoke up here drifting up out of Harrison Creek area. So hopefully we don't have to evacuate at this point because I'm not sure I have enough energy left in my legs to get back to the car. Anyway, time to shut the bag off and chill out. Well, the rain that's been threatening all day has finally arrived, although it's barely a sprinkle. But as you can see, the skies to the north of me are very, very, very dark. Still, it's about an hour and 20 minutes until the sun goes below the horizon, which, as I've seen over the last few days, is plenty of time for things to change, because they can go from cloudy to sunny lickety-split out here in the Sierra. So I'm hopeful there's still gonna be some time for sunlight to sneak into this beautiful canyon before the end of the day. And in fact, I can already see a few blue patches appearing in the sky. You never know what that's gonna mean. But all of my photography hopes for the evening do hinge on this storm breaking up. Will it happen? Won't it happen? Stick around to find out. In the meantime, it's time to put some hot water in some dehydrated slop and stuff it into my face. With a little fuel to refill my fire, I'm ready to go shoot, although it seems Mother Nature has changed her mind, because while I was eating, the sky got darker and darker and a little bit more rain began to fall. Nevertheless, I'm gonna head down to the lakeshore here because in the Sierra, in thunderstorm season, anything could happen. Anything at all. And you gotta be ready. Well, that was pretty dang spectacular. Wasn't exactly the light show that I thought would happen, but you're always guessing out here. But it's getting pretty dark and it started to rain again, so I'm gonna head back to camp, make a cup of tea, then wash up because I feel like a sticky hobo. Call it a day. As it is out here, and as much as I would love to sit here all day, watch the clouds change, break open, and the light come in, I have a little bit of a mission in front of me. I'm almost out of food. I stink to high heavens, and I miss my bed, and I miss my cat. So I'm heading home today. From here, I reckon it's about 5 to 6 hours of walking to get back to my car. That's not including breaks, so it's gonna take me most of the day to get out. And that's under good weather. Who knows what's gonna happen today? It seems like one of those days where a freak rainstorm could come down at any second and have me sheltering under a tree for 2 hours. So I'm gonna make one final breakfast, gather up all my things, and head on down the canyon. Mother Nature took her sweet time this morning, but when she was ready to go, holy crap, did she start moving. Out of nowhere, the clouds started to break open. Golden light is streaming through the landscape. Oh my God, really caught me flat-footed here. I'm so unprepared for this moment. I had to get my Crocs off, get my shoes on. Holy crap, oh my God. And hustle over here to the lake. Last night with all the rain, I was joking about how cool it would be if there was a cloud inversion in the Sierra. Never seen that. I've never seen that before. There's a cloud inversion down there. Holy I gotta get up higher. Well, I done goofed. In my excitement, I knocked my video recorder down the cliff, and it is definitely broken now, so I'm recording with my phone. But to witness that, I think it was all worth it. I mean, a clearing storm at sunrise with a cloud inversion in the high Sierra, that might be a once-in-a-lifetime event. As I head out for my last day on the trail back to the car. In this moment, I can say I feel a huge sense of serenity, peace, and this unburdening of spirit. The last few days have been incredibly exciting, but part of that is due to the adventure, and with any adventure, there's always an element of the unknown. What am I gonna find? What am I gonna photograph? Are the conditions gonna lend themselves to the type of photography I like to do? There are all these questions and mysteries wrapped up in a trip like this. Not to mention, when the conditions do arrive, like this morning, am I up to the task? There's always this sense of a little bit of pressure. Are my skills, my vision, my ability to create art with the camera, is that up to the challenge of capturing such a grandiose, magnificent scene like the one I saw this morning? And now, all of that, it's in the past. I'm extremely happy with the places that I saw on this trip and the photographs that I took. Now, my only goal is a known one. Head down, head back, head out. And that simplicity is leading to that deep sense of calm that I feel right now. So this feels like a good place to wrap this video up. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Thanks for following me through my favorite place in the entire world, Kings Canyon National Park. I also can't help but think about how starkly the lesson was hammered home for me in the past 4 days about when you're not sure, when things are looking a little rough and a little uncertain, you know, push through that storm, find that sunset on the other side. Not just in photography, but in all things life. Dig a little deeper, push a little harder, good things will come. If you enjoyed this and you want to get more videos like this, as well as free information, tips, videos, articles, and all kinds of stuff to inspire you and help you become the best photographer you can be, join my newsletter. This is Joshua Cripps signing off. As always, until next time, have fun and happy shooting. Well, a very good day to everybody out there. Heading to one of my absolute favorite places in the whole world, New Zealand. Oh man, is that beautiful. I better stop yapping and get my camera out.